Hi everybody, this is Tristan Boyd with the Classical Music Task Force, and I'm talking to Matt Teodori from Line Upon Line Percussion, who is performing the North American premiere of Hugh Dufour's Erewhon this Wednesday at the premiere event of or at least the opening event of the Fusebox Festival. So we're just going to talk about that and jump straight in. You ready, Matt?
Yeah, sure thing.
Awesome. So, first question is, how did you get connected with the Fusebox Festival for this event? Obviously, you're kind of one of the flagship events of the festival. So, how did that come about?
Yeah, Ron and I got together over some sandwiches back in November, and actually, I had reached out to him. We had a mutual friend that said, you know, you guys should meet each other. So the meeting was rather easy to set up, but you know, I was there pitching Ron a couple of different projects that I thought would fit well within Fusebox, and he said, well, you know, what do you guys have going this April? And I was like, well, as it happens, we've got a big project that we're doing, and so, you know, here we are, a couple days out from doing this thing at Fusebox. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, when did you decide that you were going to pursue this piece? Because this is a pretty massive undertaking, right? Can you tell us, and then what led you to choose to play that?
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of the Strasbourg Percussion Group, and you know, I'm familiar with their rep, and of course they have 50 years of commissions. They've been at it for so long. Some of them have become quite familiar in this country, some of them not. You know, some of them I think people might know about, but they've never seen or put on. And this was something that I sort of knew of the scale of this thing, and I thought, well, this would be a really interesting thing to do here, because it's, you know, first of all, it's never been done over in the States, but also Hugh's alive and well, and it would be great to sort of reconceive this work in a way, because a lot of the instrumentation, a lot of the things that, a lot of the gear you need for this piece doesn't exist anymore. And so I thought, well, maybe we could visit this piece and find a way to make it accessible for the rest of the percussion world. And so, you know, we've been able to work with him to kind of get something that works for today, and that gear that people can get. And hopefully this leads to a bit of a reawakening this piece in the States, and hopefully other people will pick it up and run with it. So.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And how many instruments are going to be on stage when you're playing?
Well, you know, the number is like 150, I think. But I mean, I think he's counting like one tam as an instrument. So, you know, we have 9 tam-tams.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would be 9 instruments. But, you know, you wouldn't find 150 families or things. But yeah, I think all told, there's quite a few things up there.
So there's like 150 pieces of metal and wood and skins.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes out to. I mean, we have 21 tuned gongs alone that we rented, so that's a big chunk of that number. We all have massive drum setups. We each have between 10 to 12 drums, and then you know, keyboard. We have a primary keyboard instrument, an auxiliary keyboard instrument, and then we all have a bunch of resonant metals. So that's it's large.
And what's it been like putting that together over the past, you know, I don't even know how long it's been. Months, I would assume.
Months, yeah. It's tough, man. It's a complicated piece, but I mean, I think for us as a trio, expanding, doubling to get this piece, you know, together. The 6 of us, there's been some logistical things. You know, we had to double our rehearsal space just to get all the gear in there. And, you know, not everyone that's doing it lives in Austin. There's a couple guys that live in San Antonio, so coordinating rehearsals and things. But the kind of the mitigating factors we are using a click, which makes everyone sort of independent. You know, if you can play your part with the click.
What are you're using click?
Yeah, using a click. You know, one of the things about this piece is that every measure is in a different time signature, and there's also tempo changes, just right and left and fermati, and it's a very irregular work from a structural standpoint, and we thought that would be the best way to go, particularly also with all of us not being able to be in the same place at the same time all that often. But we were able to get together pretty much every weekend for the past couple of months and work some of these things out. There's a lot of problems to solve with this piece.
Yeah, I bet. That's pretty complicated. So, I'm guessing, well, this project is enormous for you. You're not totally unused to tackling pieces like this before. So I kind of want to know what, with music like this and then some of the other works you've done over the past year as a group, what do you kind of view as your contribution or your role in the Austin music scene?
Well, that's a great question. I think we're still relatively new to this. I think we're still asking this question of ourselves. But I think we're beginning to get a bit of a plan. I think for percussion music, I mean, that's probably our most primary, like, basic level. That's the nuts and bolts of what we do is we hit things, and you know, trying to be a successful percussion group in this town is probably a big goal of ours, and a role that we try to fill. You know, there aren't a lot of towns in the country with professional percussion groups. I mean, I think they're growing more and more, but you know, the big cities obviously have their professional percussion groups, and I think it's something we're obviously going to see a lot more of. But you know, trying to fulfill that role. And that would be a more micro detail, but on the macro level, I think we just see ourselves as trying to grow contemporary art music in our city, and do a lot of commissioning and do bigger projects. Bring certain composers' attention to the audiences here. You know, the Xenakis Festival last year was a big thing for us, just introducing Austin to his work on kind of a grand scale, also a non-percussion scale. And the cool thing about Erewhon is it's a really signature piece for DeFore. I mean, it's not, if you look at his repertoire, it's a significant work. So I'm glad that we could bring that and you know, introduce everyone to what he's about and what he is doing and has done as a composer. But also commissioning new work and you know, just trying to grow what we do as an art form and advance this contemporary music.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks, Matt. It's been great. Yeah. And your performance is Wednesday night, correct? At the which venue will you be at, actually? Yeah,
State Theater. It's called Stateside at the Paramount, right next door to the Paramount, downtown on Congress. 7 p.m. Is the start of the show.
Awesome. And it'll be the first event of the Fusebox Festival that goes on for the next, it's April 17th through the 28th. So, awesome. It was great talking to you, Matt, and hope to see you at the show.